All right, astrology time. Shane here, dailyastrocat.com. Today is Sunday, and it is, the 12th of July. So, our moon starts void of course in Gemini, and will enter Cancer at 6:46 in the evening. That is a long void of course moon. That's going to last all morning and into the evening, right? Almost 7 o'clock at night. So, look, it's given us some serious Mercury retrograde vibes, right? The answer's out there, but it's just going to take us a while to find it, okay? Now, it really feels like one step forward, two steps back. And that's because Mercury is just, holding us back a little bit. It's making things difficult. We have to repeat things. Things we say the first time just are not, they're just not getting through, right? So, it's communication's still messed up, right? It is, and it's difficult, but I'm noticing a couple other things too. But communication being messed up is messed up with a capital F. All right. Now the Sun is conjunct Mercury, and this is our day of some of our deepest inner knowledge, and that inner knowledge comes with inner calm. Okay, that's going to come with that inner knowledge. Just calm it down. Okay. Here in the waters of Cancer, we're learning to listen to our guides and not be bothered too much. We really need to just take it down a notch here, right? Now, that's unless you have planets in Cancer, in which case you're going to be feeling a little extra emotional about things like that, and wonder where I'm getting off on calling this calm. All right. Honestly, it is calm, but you're going to have to find that spot within you without getting overly emotionally attached to whatever it is that's going on around you. Because right now, we're in that waning moon phase. That moon is just about new. It's going to be new on Tuesday. And when it's new on Tuesday, we're going to have to, we are looking forward to beginning some new things, right? But we're not going to be able to begin them right away. And my advice to you for today is just kind of chill out a little bit, right? Just take it easy, take it steady, right? Now, look, you can create fearlessly, but expect odd resistance, okay? You got to just remember that, right? You got to just know that, we got to stay active. We got to stay alert, right? Because what's happening is, just weird things, right? Like my TikTok traffic is way down, way down. And that's like in stark contrast to what's going on Meta, which is like just blowing up and just getting more likes than TikTok, which is just weird, right? It just doesn't make sense because it was the exact opposite 6 months ago. Now, if it is weird, and I swear that something or someone is manipulating these things, right? Now, speaking of that, have you seen any controversy around the World Cup games? Oh, and let's not even begin to talk about politics, right? Mercury retrograde. All right. So today's keyword is steady. And look, be the change, okay? That's what you really want to be. Now, our color is a cockle shell. It's a very pretty color. I was going to bring one over here, but a little prop, right? But no, we'll get into that later. All right. So Cancer energy, that's kind of peaking right now. So we're at our most vulnerable to the moon as she closes in on the sun. So that's going to make some emotions swing wildly, right? A little bit of indecisiveness maybe, which is really weird because Cancer is a water sign and it's a cardinal water sign, and so it doesn't really get that wavering thing too much. But if it senses something that's not right, it's going to go back and forth and really test the waters because it's cautious, concerned about security, it's concerned about what we're doing, but we're creating intuitively. Now, the other thing that we're looking at, and the other thing that we want to take notice of, is that the pull of this moon is really unmistakable, and it could almost feel as a descent into madness, right? There's so much going on in our lives, and all we need to do is get past this new moon, and things will start to straighten out, right? Because we've got a lot of things up in the air, and things being up in the air is going to drive us crazy, right? Look, we got Venus and Virgo. We think we can get this stuff by being precise and, using everything the way we need to, but the words are not working. And as a matter of fact, that logic is just going to be a little bit on the, we don't want to say twisted side, but what we want to call it is we want to just say that Mercury is retrograde, and Mercury is also the ruler of Virgo. So with that being said, look, and you're going to notice that Venus and Virgo shift, right? Perhaps you are paying more attention to your bills and cleaning up what Venus and Leo brought about, right? With the little bit of extra spending. That's normal. So it's taking the time to create. But creating is not as the same as administrating. And that administration stuff is going to throw you off because of that Mercury being retrograde. Right? We can't do the creative work if we're doing administrative work, and the administrative work is dragging us out of the creativity. That's difficult, right? And look, and even if it's your own thing that you're doing, that's still an issue. That's still a problem. So I'm not sure how I can reconcile these different energies, but I guess that the real thing that we need to do is just keep going at it and going at it and going at it, even if we have to repeat it, because that's a retrograde thing, right? The Mercury retrograde thing. We just have to keep at it at a steady pace. Now, change is inbound, and look, it's going to be something else when it finally happens, right? But today, we need to maintain our course. Just, it's Sunday. Just look slow and steady, but with confidence and self-assurance. It's not in our best interests to do anything wild or out of character today. We are best off to put our heads down and get those steps in. Like actual physical steps. Take a walk, do that stuff, if that's what you're into, right? Now, forget about what is done, what's behind you. We're entering into that new moon, right? This is that dark phase where we have to let the field settle, right? Look, these are things that there's things that we can't change, so why bother fretting? You can do that on Monday. Instead, exercise your body and read a book. Feed your mind. Meditate and touch the moment. Now, Mercury retrograde has us searching. Turn to your guides and ride the positive things that you've experienced over the last few days. Don't stress over anything and try not to project into tomorrow or the next day. Just like I said, that ground has to rest before the new crop comes in, right? That new moon on Tuesday. And so must you. So in 1957, the U.S. Surgeon General Leroy Burney linked smoking to lung cancer. There's a radical thought, right? And our birth, turnabout is fair play. Oscar Hammerstein, right? Rodgers and Hammerstein? Yes. And he's the second. Born in 1895, died in 1960. He's an American lyricist. He wrote the words to those Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals, right? Oklahoma, South Pacific, The King and I, and The Sound of Music. He's born in New York City, and that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Let's recap, shall we? Today's keyword is steady, and the color is a cockle shell. Today's a 6. Happy astrocatting.